Miura Riku and Kihara Ryuichi from 5th place after the short program to the first Japanese pair ever to win this event at the Olympic Winter Games.
Before spring 2019, Japan had never placed higher than 14th in pair skating at the Winter Olympics. The country produced legendary single skaters like Mao Asada, Shoma Uno, and Yuzuru Hanyu, but pair skating had always been a painful story filled with withdrawals, setbacks, and disappointing finishes. Then everything changed. That spring, two skaters were on the verge of walking away from the sport forever. One was a 17-year-old girl from Hyogo whose partnership had suddenly ended. The other was a 26-year-old veteran who had already gone through multiple partners and was seriously considering retirement after a devastating head injury. But 7 years later, in February 2026, those same two athletes stood together at the top of the Olympic podium in Milano after delivering the highest pair free skate score ever recorded under the modern judging system. They gave Japan its very first Olympic gold medal in pair skating, and only 2 months later, they announced their retirement together. This is the incredible story of Riku Miura and Ryuichi Kihara. Riku Miura was born in Takarazuka, Hyogo Prefecture, on December 17, 2001. She originally competed in singles skating before switching to pairs at just 12 years old after meeting Canadian coach Bruno Marcotte during a federation seminar with her first partner, Shoya Ichihashi. By 2018, she had already reached the World Junior Championships and finished 10th in Sofia. But after the 2018 to 2019 season ended, the partnership came to an end, leaving Riku searching for a new direction in her career. Meanwhile, Ryuichi Kihara had already spent years fighting to survive in the sport. Born on August 22, 1992, in Aichi Prefecture, he started skating before turning 4 years old. By 2019, he had already competed in 2 Olympic Games. He represented Japan in Sochi 2014 alongside Narumi Takahashi, the woman who earned Japan's only previous World Championship medal in pairs. Later, he returned to the Olympics in Pyeongchang 2018 with Mio Suzaki, but the partnership ended after a severe concussion caused by a training accident. His partner left skating entirely, and at 26 years old, Kihara was questioning whether his own career was over too. Then came May 2019 in Nagoya, Japan. The Japan Skating Federation organized a special pair skating seminar and invited renowned coach Bruno Marcotte to lead it. Riku arrived without a partner. Ryuichi arrived without hope for his future in the sport. Marcotte proposed one final tryout before either skater gave up on pair skating forever. That single decision changed Japanese skating history. The two moved to Oakville, Ontario, near Toronto, where they began training at Skate Oakville under Bruno Marcotte, Olympic champion Megan Duhamel, and senior coach Brian Shales. Marcotte had already coached the only Japanese pair team to ever win a World Championship medal, Narumi Takahashi and Mervyn Tran, back in 2012. He had waited more than a decade for another opportunity like this, and now he believed he had found it. Their first season together in 2019 to 2020 was only the beginning. They placed 5th at the NHK Trophy in Sapporo, captured a national title, and finished 8th at 4 continents in Seoul. Then the pandemic struck, forcing the cancellation of the 2020 World Championships in Montreal. But strangely, the lockdown became the turning point that transformed their partnership. Returning home to Japan was impossible, leaving them stranded in Canada with only each other, their training, and the rink. For nearly an entire year, skating became their entire world. That difficult period built a connection and trust that would eventually turn them into champions. When international competition resumed, their rise became impossible to ignore. At the 2021 World Championships in Stockholm, they finished 10th, earning Japan a second Olympic spot in pair skating for the first time ever. Soon after came a silver medal at Skate America and a bronze medal at NHK Trophy. Momentum was building rapidly, and the skating world started realizing that Japan finally had a pair team capable of changing history. Then came the Beijing Olympics in 2022. During the Olympic team event, Miura and Kihara delivered a stunning free skate performance that helped Japan secure what was originally a bronze medal, later upgraded to silver after the disqualification of Russian skater Kamila Valieva. But the real emotional battle came during the individual pairs competition. Under enormous pressure, Riku doubled her planned triple jump in the short program, a heartbreaking mistake that dropped them to 8th place. For many teams, that would have been the end. But not for Riku and Ryuichi. In the free skate, They attacked the ice with unbelievable determination, refusing to let one mistake define their Olympic dream. Their powerful and emotional performance lifted them all the way to 7th place, the highest Olympic finish ever achieved by a Japanese pair team at that time. Just 1 month later, at the World Championships in Montpellier, they captured the silver medal and became only the second Japanese pair team in history to medal at Worlds. Once again, Bruno Marcotte had coached a Japanese team onto the world podium. But the true breakthrough arrived during the 2022-2023 season. This was the year Riku Miura and Ryuichi Kihara proved they belonged among the absolute best in the world. They opened their Grand Prix season with a historic gold medal at Skate Canada, becoming the first Japanese pair team ever to win a Grand Prix title. Soon after, they conquered NHK Trophy on home ice. Then, at the Grand Prix final in Torino, they defeated reigning world champions Alexa Niram and Brandon Fraser to win Japan's first-ever Grand Prix final title in pair skating. Suddenly, what once felt impossible was becoming reality. In March 2023, the World Championships returned home to Saitama, Japan, and the pressure on Riku Miura and Ryuichi Kihara was enormous. Their short program, built around an intense tango performance, earned a personal best score of 80.72. The free skate wasn't perfect. There were visible mistakes, including a fall on the throw triple loop, but when the final numbers appeared on the screen, it was enough. With a total score of 222.16, they became world champions on home ice, making history as the first Japanese pair team ever to win a world championship title. Inside Saitama Super Arena, fans witnessed a moment the country had been waiting decades to see. But just when it felt like they had reached the top of the world, everything suddenly changed. In the summer of 2023, Ryuichi Kihara was diagnosed with lumbar spondylosis, a painful degenerative condition affecting his lower spine. The injury forced the reigning world champions to withdraw from every Grand Prix event and skip the Japanese championships entirely. For the first time since forming their partnership in 2019, there were serious doubts about whether the team even had a future anymore. Still, champions never disappear quietly. In February 2024, they returned to competition and captured silver at 4 continents in Shanghai. 1 month later, at the World Championships in Montreal, they fought hard to defend their title but narrowly lost to Canadian pair Diana Stellato-Dudek and Maxime Deschamps by just 3.5 points. Ironically, the new champions were training under the same coaching team as Miura and Kihara, meaning the world title stayed inside Bruno Marcotte's rink. The following season became a mission to take everything back. In late 2024, Riku and Ryuichi stormed through Skate America and reclaimed another major victory. But new challengers were rising fast. Georgian pair Anastasia Medelkina and Luka Barilova pushed them harder than ever, while the German team of Minerva Fabian Hayes and Nikita Volodin captured the Grand Prix final title. The rivalry at the top of pair skating had become intense, but Miura and Kihara refused to back down. Then came March 2025 in Boston. The World Championships turned into one of the closest battles of their entire career. Heading into the free skate, the margin between the Japanese and German teams was razor thin. By the end of the night, only 0.7 of a point separated them. Riku Miura and Ryuichi Kihara reclaimed the World Championship crown by the smallest margin they had ever won. It was proof that even after injuries and setbacks, they were still capable of standing above the rest of the world. The Olympic season finally arrived in September 2025, and every performance from that point forward was focused on one goal: Olympic gold in Milano Cortina. Throughout the autumn, they dominated competition after competition, crushing France by 21 points, winning Skate America once again, and later capturing another Grand Prix final title in Nagoya. But even then, disaster nearly struck. During warm-ups for the Japanese Championship short program, Riku dislocated her shoulder. Somehow, despite the pain, they still competed in the short program and won the segment before withdrawing from the rest of the event to protect her recovery. Japan selected them for the Olympic team immediately without hesitation. In February 2026, they arrived in Italy carrying the hopes of an entire nation. During the Olympic team event, they delivered personal best scores in both segments and helped Japan secure a second consecutive Olympic team medal. But the real pressure came during the individual pairs competition at the Milano Ice Skating Arena. Their short program nearly destroyed everything they had worked for. During an axle lift, Ryuichi accidentally set Riku down too early, causing the entire element to collapse. The judges heavily penalized the mistake, giving them only 73.11 points, their worst short program score in more than a year. Suddenly, they were sitting in 5th place, nearly 7 points behind the leaders with only one skate left to save their Olympic dream. What happened next became the defining performance of their entire career. Their free skate, choreographed by Canadian choreographer Ollie McCarty and set to music from Gladiator featuring vocals by Andrea Bocelli, was flawless. Every throw landed perfectly. Every lift hit its level. Every jump rotated cleanly. For 4.5 unforgettable minutes, they performed like two athletes who understood this was the moment their entire journey had been leading toward. When the final pose hit, the arena fell silent before erupting into applause. Then the score appeared, 158.13. A new world record under the modern scoring system. Their total score of 231.24 secured Olympic gold by more than 9 points over Georgia's Metelkina and Barilava, while Germany's Hayes and Valadin took bronze. Japan had finally won its first Olympic gold medal in pair skating and its first Olympic figure skating gold since Yuzuru Hanyu 8 years earlier. The victory also completed the legendary career Golden Slam, Olympic gold, World Championship gold, Grand Prix Final gold, and Continental Championship gold. Only one other Japanese skater in history had ever achieved that feat before them. Then, only weeks later, came the announcement nobody was prepared for. On April 17, 2026, Riku Miura and Ryuichi Kihara officially announced their retirement in a joint statement written in both Japanese and English. They had already withdrawn from the World Championships in Prague, and now fans understood why. At a Tokyo press conference later that month, the pair revealed that the decision to retire had actually been made a full year earlier during the World Championships in Boston, and they had kept the secret between themselves the entire time. But their story was never only about medals. The next chapter would focus on building the future of Japanese pair skating through a new skating academy supported by the Kinoshita Group. Young skaters like Yuna Nagaoka and Sumitada Moriguchi were already beginning to follow the path Miura and Kihara created. 7 years earlier, two skaters entered a rink in Nagoya believing their careers were almost over. Neither expected that one afternoon would change everything. Yet together, they built something far greater than medals or records. They changed the history of Japanese pair skating forever. The trust you saw in every overhead lift wasn't just part of the performance, it was the only way two skaters of their size could even survive in pair skating at the highest level. Every time the music started, audiences around the world instantly understood the incredible risk, pressure, and faith being placed in each other without anyone needing to explain it. For decades, Japan had never placed higher than 14th in Olympic pair skating, but on one unforgettable night in Milano, the country stood at number 1. That moment belonged entirely to Riku Miura and Ryuichi Kihara. They gave everything they had to the sport, every season, every injury, every sacrifice, and when their journey finally ended, they walked away together at the absolute peak of the skating world, just as they had entered it 7 years earlier with nothing left to lose and an entire nation watching them. Thank you for following Riku and Ryuichi's journey all the way to the end, because this was the kind of story sports almost never gives us. Two careers that looked finished before they even began together. A country with almost no history in pair skating. An Olympic gold medal that nobody in 2019 could realistically imagine becoming possible. And yet somehow, against every expectation, they changed the sport forever. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe because your support truly helps this channel continue bringing more powerful figure skating stories like this one to life. I'll see you in the next video.